right now, but we'll do our best to show you the games that we want to see.
And here we go. Jumping into game number 2 right now on Ohana. At the bottom right. From the team KT Rolster. This guy's ID is KT Flash. This guy is somebody that almost everybody knows.
I have to correct myself, by the way. I was not aware that we were already in this round, so Flash, after this, is already on his way to WCS.
Oh, this is the final round?
It seems, if I read those brackets correctly, it is the final round. So I think from each... I might be mistaken here, guys. I'm sorry we're not at the venue, so we don't have all the information that we would like to have. But if I read those brackets correctly, then two players from each group advance, and this would mean that Flash is in WCS in the overall tournament if he defeats Brown.
Yeah, he may very well.
Or is it only the winner? Of the
no,
group?
I think 2 players advance from each group.
Yeah, from how I read this, it's going to be 2 players.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is actually the final, which was I was not aware of that. I misread the bracket earlier, but this is so cool, man. This is unfortunate for anyone on Slayers. To be perfectly honest, like, to be real for a second, Brown does not have anywhere near the fans that Flash does, so he's really got to prove something here. And to defeat Flash would, you'd probably feel bad about it. He'd be like, sorry to all the fans, I prevented this guy from being in the tournament. But we see a fast command center yet again for Flash. Dropping that barracks down now, the probe scouts everything.
And I just got an update, and I'm very thankful to Snowbird, and follow the guy at Twitter as well. Check him out at @GomSnowbird. He always makes sure that the foreign communities get some streams. He was involved in one of the first Ready Action streams that were broadcasted on Twitch and made sure that the foreign community got some love there. So definitely send him a tweet at Twitter at @GomSnowbird, and he just informed us. He just came into the studio and was like, guys, I can update you a second. I was currently listening to the stream. It's only 1 player per group that is going to advance.
Oh, okay.
So if Flash wins here against Brown, he still has to face another player in the finals of the group. And let me have a look at the bracket. So far, I'm not quite sure who he has to face. But in the same group, there's, for example, Crank, there's Bjorn, there's Tacita. So a lot of very, very strong GSL players that he might have to face later on. I'm trying to find an updated version of the bracket. Currently, I don't have it. I'm sorry for this, but I'm trying to.
Yeah, guys, I appreciate everyone who does update Liquipedia and things of this nature, and that's probably what we're going to have to rely on today, as well as word of mouth from Twitter, because we just don't, like you said, we're not at the venue.
In order to give you a better quality of the stream itself, we are at the studio today and not at the venue, which makes it usually a little bit easier for us to keep on top of things. But we have the brackets now on Liquipedia, and I want to give a huge shout out to those guys. You guys are awesome, and without you, esports would just be dead.
Yes.
So it looks like Puzzle is actually in the semi-final, and he will either have to face Harrier or Hoja, and whoever is going to win will face Flash. If Flash is able to win against Brown. Apparently he has to win another round as well. So the brackets that I had earlier must have been like early brackets. I'm sorry for all this misinformation, or not misinformation, but about us having to correct each other the entire time. But yeah, our information that we have is limited.
Yeah, so basically
we're trying to give you the best broadcast possible, but at the first it's a little bit shaky to get
let's for now let's just stick to talking about what's going on in this game, I suppose. And if you guys are interested in the brackets, we told you where you can find them, so just go look those up.
Liquipedia, they guys doing an awesome job.
Yeah, definitely check out Liquipedia. I think that's the most reliable place, especially for English speakers. You can use the Korean website. Leveltory has brackets, but just use Liquipedia. We just see double gate before Robo again here. He cut probes out of gas to get this Nexus out faster once he saw the command center first. And again, we're seeing a slightly passive game here from both players. Look at the micro from Brown on that Stalker. It's something I'd love to see, just how aggressive he's poking here. He's going to get back. And, I mean, the question is, will we see him do a similar push as what we saw last game and move out on the map, check for the third base of the Protoss? Last game, I think Flash got so ahead because Brown didn't take a third, Flash got his third, and he got it up for free, and then we just saw, well, okay, I have more money than you, I have more units than you, I'm Flash, I'm not missing a beat with my macro, and he just killed him. And we'll see. I mean, his positioning and the engagement was good as well, but we'll see if Brown's going to change things up here. He certainly cannot play it the same way he did last time, not put any pressure on at all and let his opponent get a base for free.
Currently, we have, of course, for Brown a little bit of an house lead because of the Chrono Boost. He was able to get the better economy. We are on Ohana here, 2-player map. But this map is known for timings with siege tanks. Something that we might not see here, but in Protoss versus Terran, siege tank timings and sieging up on the lower ground with some vision onto the high ground granted by Medivacs, it can be very scary for a Protoss player. Flash is ahead 1-0 here. He wants to go to WCS. He wants to play this tournament. He wants to play in the Korean qualifier that happens in August. And he has to, of course, show his A-game today and his A-game in StarCraft 2. The Brood War times will soon be over, and then all there is to it is StarCraft, not only in the Western world, but also in Korea, and therefore Flash is showcasing his play today here in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, he was forced to make a bunker by that sentry push that we saw last game, and we see the transition exactly the same as last time. Double forges. I'm not sure, that was probably a Twilight Council. It was cancelled just there. I wasn't able to get a glimpse of it, but it's now a robotic support bay. This means he wants to hit a 2-base Colossus attack, or he may want to use his Colossi to hold a third. The thing about using Colossi to hold a third with Forge that's out, though, is that if you don't have the Twilight Council, you can't continue your Forge upgrades, and that can get really nasty and get really scary. So I think he's going to try to hit a 2-base timing here. He is going to do a Zealot drop, which is quite nice. He's going to wait, I think. As soon as he sees the move out of Flash, then he's going to go in and do a backstab with these Zealots. He can warp in additional units if he wants to as well.
He's flying right into the scouting factory, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, he's already spotted.
But the thing is, he's not trying to hit a timing with this. He's just using it as a backstab. So even if Flash sees it, he can't even necessarily hunt it down. He doesn't have Vikings out, and so he's just going to leave it to the side. He's not going to try to force his way in here. If he does, it's going to be a huge mistake.
We have +2/+2 being researched for Flash. Brown, on the other hand, is now... as the first Colossi in production is going for +1/+1.
I think Flash didn't see this, as he did not leave any units, but see how much he wants to commit. SCV's pulled immediately, 2 of them going down, several damage. He's losing some mining time here, but he will be able to defend, and Brown is actually not even going to warp in any additional units.
Yeah, he's just trying to pick off the Zealots. He kills the Marines first, now picks them off and just gets out of there. So
he made Flash
well done.
come back, too, with this. Flash sent all of his units back, so this bought him some time.
It was very positional. He tried to get into a better position and force Flash to retreat, force Flash to defend, pull off his SCVs, make him lose some mining time, take down a Marine or 2. It was well done by Brown.
Yeah, and he's just continuing to use it to keep him in his base. Back at home, like I said, it would be a little bit weird for him to try to take a third with the Colossus, but he's got a Twilight Council coming up now. And his upgrades, as you can see, his upgrades are done, but he doesn't have a Twilight Council yet. Can't start 2-2, and Flash's upgrades are way ahead. 2-2's about to finish for him. And there's no third base just yet for Brown. Brown's, again, in a kind of a funky position here.
It's weird, because Brown has 60 probes. He should take a third, and there is already, I think it's a probe to the top right. He needs another Nexus. Being on 60 probes on only 2 bases is a little bit too much. If you want to hit a timing, at least, that is. If you want to take another base, then you're fine. He takes it a little bit late, maybe.
Yeah, this is exactly kind of what we saw last game. The third base for Flash has been up for so long right now. His upgrades are ahead. And of course, since his economy has been better, he's going to pull ahead an army so fast. And then he's just going to hit an attack and kill his opponent again. This is basically a repeat of what we saw last game in almost every way.
And this is, of course, the scary part with the Observer that Brown has. He knows about Flash's movement. He knows where exactly he's positioned on the map, which is very important to him. And Flash just now completing the Combat Shield. He goes straight for the +3 attack upgrade. And, of course, Brown trying to keep up in upgrades here. And he's doing a good job with his Forges. The double Forges help him in quite a bit, and he uses Chrono Boosts in order to make this happen a little bit faster. But the Colossi count is now only reaching 2 in a few seconds, and we already have a fair amount of Vikings out. Flash is playing this... He's playing very solid here.
Yeah. He's basically just... He's covering all his bases. He got a third base, third command center really fast, just like last game. This is something that Brood War players often do, is take risks and expand and try to defend them. They're so good at defending that it's not as much of a risk for him. But even the double starport, he is just totally set here. And this attack, his economy has paid off at that third base. Nice blink forward here, though. We'll pick off one of the Vikings, maybe two. Nope, not quite.
Yeah, that was well done. Flash not paying a lot of attention to his flying as he was a little bit faster than the Marines, and Brown is able to capitalize on it. Takes down one of the Vikings, damages the second one. And the Vikings are going to be very important in the next fight, and right now he only has 4. He has actually less than I expected him to have here, especially against the 3 Colossi. 5 Vikings is not going to be enough. He's building more now, he's reaching 6. But Brown, with the economy that he has, will be able to get more units into the game. He's right now at 73 Harvesters, doing a lot of better job. His expansion was too late, but he has a decent saturation on all bases by now.
Yeah, we'll see what this next engagement holds, because with this next engagement, the 4th bases will be decided. It's like, well, if you lose this, if you lose this or you get a disadvantage from this engagement, you can't take a 4th. Neither can feel comfortable taking a 4th when the army sizes are this large. And you don't need a 4th right now either. It's about when you get that. The techs have developed. 2-2 is done for Flash. Well, actually, his +2 armor not quite complete, but his +3 is about finished. He's about to be at 3-2. And that's going to give him an upgrade advantage against his opponent for a brief period of time. And Flash is actually not trying to force the engagement here. He's not going to have as favorable as a position on this map as he did on Entomb Valley.
He's playing very composed and very calm. It has a very clean build so far, and it's really impressive to just see how he approaches this. We currently have 2-2, as you pointed out, for Brown. In regards to the upgrades, Flash is a little bit ahead of him. We don't really have his upgrade count at this point. Here's the production tab. The +3 attack upgrade is nearly done, so Flash has a slight advantage over his opponent, but Brown able to not only get even, but he will be ahead in a few seconds if Flash gives him time.
Yeah.
And Flash is not just making sure that he has enough production. He's already at 200 supply, so he needs additional barracks so that he can make good use of his bank as soon as the fight happens. And it's just a very, very clean play by Flash. And here he comes.
Go. He's not hesitating. A great position, not only the concave, but using this little island in the middle to his advantage. The Vikings close in.
And the Zealots, they don't have a lot of surface area. Those force fields are working against Brown right now. And the Colossi are gone. Both of them are roughly the same supply, though. More and more units swapped in for Brown, and he's charging in with the Zealots, and he's making Flash retreat. Flash is on the run. He can't pick off the units because of the medivac, because the blink would kill the medivacs, but now he will lose most of this army, and suddenly it is actually Brown who takes the supply lead here.
Yeah, and the medivacs are being chased, they're being taken out. This is not good for Flash right now. You know, I feel like maybe he made too many Vikings. There were only 4 Colossi, but you saw the Vikings very dead weight at that moment when the Zealots were running in, not able to accomplish a whole lot, and this is a scary moment because you're not sure what to make next. You keep making Vikings because you lost a lot, so if he switches back into Colossi, doesn't get Storm, then you're going to be in trouble. But if you make too many Vikings for the potential Colossus, you're going to have the same problem he just had.
One of the problems that he also had was that Brown, of course, has a huge amount of gateways by now, and he warped in as Zealots immediately as the fight started and he lost supply. He had the defender's advantage here, and he made good use of it. With all those units in there, it was actually really... It was not... I don't want to say it was easy, but it was something that he accomplished very well. His force field at first were working against him. Those Zealots were trapped. They could not really get the surface area and put pressure onto the Marine Marauder composition. But now he's in a good spot. He's pushing out. He's 170 supply, but so is Flash. Both of them, actually. He's trying to make this work. Did he spot the 4th?
No, he doesn't know.
I think he sent a unit over just now, didn't he? I'm not quite sure, though. I can't see it on the minimap.
By the way, with the position of Flash here, he can't go up that ramp right now. There's no way he's going to get caught if he does. And here we go, just enough Vikings here. The ratio actually perfect. He doesn't have any ghosts, though.
He's trying to move in, and he doesn't even bother the Vikings. The Stalkers actually blink to the left side, but there is way too much Marauder damage here. This is something that he cannot help, that he cannot beat. You just saw it, the Marauders just ripped everything to shred here. He's already on 3 attack upgrades, and with Stim, the DPS is insane. The medevac count is at 8, yeah, so taking those Marauders down, 31 of them, is really tough.
Yeah, the medevac count is so important. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is... I mean, with the medevac count this high, you don't even need ghosts necessarily with no storms. Against Archons, you're going to be pretty fine. And make sure the Archons don't actually kill your medevacs, and make sure you don't lose any units to blinks like this. But look at how he picks off these Stalkers. He's moving in, not giving Brown any time here. There's so many medevacs healing all of these units. The Zealots are basically melting at this point. The Vikings targeting down the Colossus, and he has to retreat. Flash with a 70 supply lead here, 180 to 116.
And now Flash moving in. One thing that we, by the way, did not catch on screen, and as there was a fight ongoing, whoa, once again another stim. He's trying to bully his way up the ramp, and he's making good on it. One thing that we didn't catch on stream was there was apparently some harass on the third base that we did not see on screen. I think it was Vikings, but I don't know for sure. Flash just showcasing his multitasking, taking the game. Brown has to GG, so Flash advances after a 2-0 win over his opponent.
He has a 4th command spur up on the left, but he also had a 5th on the right.
Yeah.
That's something I wanted to mention because it's like, well, that's insane. I mean, how many expansions he took in that game while holding and being down in supply after that engagement?
His brutal mechanics are definitely shining through here.
They're showing, man. You can't hide those from us.
No.
Well,
he's trying.
We are going to have a quick little break here, probably about 5 minutes or so. We find out who our next match is going to be. If you guys, like I said, if you want to tweet at myself, at ProxyWolf, and at Calidor, and at GoemTV, who you would like to see in the next match, we will try to get it as best as we can. Otherwise, we'll see you in just a few minutes.